found out my relationship lives rent-free in a friend's head. Good day, everyone. A bit of drama popped into my life over the weekend and I need some place to share it as I need to rant. I'll hop right in. It's a bit girthy. Sorry. I love a bit of girth, babe. So, my husband and I dated through college and got married within a week of graduation, which means our anniversary was this month. I posted a photo on Facebook of us having celebratory sushi and a little blurb along the lines of 15 years together, married my best friend, together until the end. It was a bit more than that, but that's the gist of it. On Saturday, my husband's high school friend, we'll call him Todd, called my husband and asked to have the post taken down because it was pissing off his wife. What? So this was not a post that involved your friend's wife at all? We'll call the wife Susan. My husband doesn't really use Facebook, but looked up the post while on the phone with Todd and was confused and pushed back. My husband is usually the peacekeeping type, but he thought the post was cute and didn't understand why Susan, who's also a high school friend of his, would be upset. It's just a selfie of us each holding a piece of sushi and smiling stupidly. I fail to understand the problem here.
Susan, chill out.
Todd and Susan love sushi too, so it's not a food thing. Per my husband, Todd was a bit cagey about why he wanted the post taken down and just kept asking for my husband to do him a solid. Husband refused and Todd hung up after calling him a few choice words. What is Susan's problem? Does she see how happy you guys are and it bothers her? Okay, but then to have the audacity to ask you to take it down is kind of cray. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of nuts. My husband and Todd's little sister, Jessie, are also friends. She moved to our town and attended the same college as us, and likewise stayed in the area. Todd and Susan live about 5 hours away, back in my husband's hometown, so we only see them a few times a year when we go visit the family for holidays. Sometimes Jessie and her partner ride with us when we make this trip. She lives super close to us, we see each other a lot. My husband and Jessie are sourdough sisters and share baking recipes. Since Todd was acting stupid, my husband called Jessie to see what was going on. Jessie finally came over to spill the beans. For a little background, Todd and Susan are a year older than us and got married the year before my husband and I graduated. They had a grand wedding, 250 people, 2 wedding dresses, a ring you could see from space, a honeymoon on a beach somewhere. For 2 kids from nowhere in Missouri, it was a massive celebration that cost them a ton of money because their parents couldn't afford to chip in. It was lovely, and the 2 looked super happy. When my husband and I got married, we did it in a park with an open invitation for anyone to come. There wasn't anything planned, just I want to marry you, but not at a courthouse. Let's do this. $50 on a dress from Sears. Oh, Sears, haven't heard that name in a minute. An ordained family member. $150 for a ring I picked out with my husband, and my dad found me my favorite wildflowers to make a bouquet with. The ceremony took all of 20 minutes, and since there was only a dozen or so people who made it, mostly immediate family, my dad announced he was taking everyone out to a local place for brunch on him. I know I'm biased, but it was the best wedding ever. I mean, listen, it kind of sounds like, number 1, it didn't break the bank. Number 2, there was nobody there that sucked. Number 3, it was everything that you wanted, so I'm happy for you. Those who made it still talk about how much fun they had and how they enjoyed the small ceremony and chillness of the entire thing. Todd and Susan didn't make our wedding, which was fine, as they had a newborn and were 5 hours away. I wouldn't expect them to drive that far for such a short shindig. They sent us congratulations, and Susan called me personally to gush about how lovely everything looked and to ask about our honeymoon. I thought we were friends, as she's always been nice. To my face, apparently. So from what Jessie spilled, Susan originally liked us in college. Todd and Susan also went to the same college as us, but moved back to their hometown after graduation. She knew my husband from high school, and the 2 were close friends. Todd and Susan had been dating since they were freshmen in high school. According to Jessie, Susan would jokingly say we were 2 ugly ducklings who were destined for one another. Which, quite frankly, was rude as frick to learn. I mean, yeah, we aren't conventionally attractive, both a little overweight and both short enough to be hobbits. That's so cute. But my husband is totes adorbs, and I love the way he looks, and he seems to like me well enough. It turns out that Susan hates us with a passion that I cannot comprehend. She hates our hobbies, Dungeons and Dragons, video games, LARPing with friends in a park, and gardening. She hates our clothes, basic, normal, human clothes, t-shirts, pants, hoodies, sneakers. She hates our house, 800 square foot, 2 bedrooms in a quiet subdivision. She hates that we don't have kids. Child-free, mostly by choice, but also due to medical reasons. According to Jessie, Susan's hatred really kicked into overdrive after our wedding. It kind of sounded like everybody really enjoyed it. It began with little digs about the wedding itself. My wedding was cheap, tacky, low class, poor. And yet people seemed to really enjoy it, didn't they? Maybe a little more than her expensive, massive celebration? I bet you anything there were people that were like present at both and it got back to her and she hates that people enjoyed it. The kind of thing we should be ashamed of. That we shouldn't have bothered if we were going to have a wedding like ours. Okay, people are entitled to have weddings and not like spend an arm and a leg. This isn't something that only the upper class get to have. According to Jessie, Susan seemed to take our wedding as a personal attack against her. Like we insulted her by having a wedding that was so completely different. Completely different. There was nothing wrong with Susan's wedding. It was great. Just not a wedding I would want for myself. Nor could you even afford it. So, like, why does it matter that you had a different wedding? Based on what you wanted and what she wanted?
She's jealous.
Since none of our guests overlapped, it wasn't like people in her social circle were comparing the two.
Interesting.
At that period in my life, I was posting a lot on Facebook, so she had a window into our lives. Since the wedding cost us almost nothing, we started our marriage with only school debt, which she hated because they were drowning in both school and wedding debt. We both got full-time jobs right out of college, which she hated, because Todd bounced from job to job for years because he hates having a boss. He even tried to start his own business a few times and each fell through.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
I find it odd that she's so incredibly jealous of your relationship and your marriage and your wedding. Like, a year into our marriage, we went house hunting and found our current home. And because of a rural development government loan, we were able to get the house with no down payment and roll all the fees into the home loan. Basically, we went from paying $500 a month in rent to $500 a month in mortgage with no change in our bank account. Sounds like a sweet deal. Whereas they had to live with their parents because of the debt, which she hated. I mean, it kind of just sounds like she's making really choices for herself. Susan hates that my husband and I enjoy spending time together. She hates that his hobbies are my hobbies, and my hobbies are his hobbies. She hates that we use the snowball method to crush our student loans into the dirt, and now the only debt is the house. She hates that we're on the same page with everything in our lives. She hates that we never seem to fight. We bicker and argue like any married couple, but we don't post about it on Facebook, so I guess she thinks we always get along. Oh yeah, she obsessed with you guys. That is some fan behavior. I will never understand that people that like get upset about like comparisons. And you really can't be comparing your life to someone's life that you see on social media. Even then, like it seems weird that she's bugging about like how you had like a less expensive wedding than her. Usually it's,
oh, she had a much better wedding than me and like she's outshining me.
But it doesn't really seem like you're doing anything to like cause like jealousy in that regard. Maybe she just has this thing in her head that's like,
oh, they're like these two little hobbits that should never be happy.
And she hates seeing that you're happy without all the things that she values. Jessie never said anything to us because she didn't want to cause a rift between my husband and Todd, because my husband would not put up with that level of disrespect and would cut Todd out of his life. And Jessie was afraid she'd be cut off as well in the crossfire. And since Susan was always able to keep a lid on the crazy around us, Jessie never told us the unhinged things Susan would vent to her about. Susan, seeing that post I made about 15 years of happy marriage, really pissed her off because her and Todd had been fighting a lot.
Get over it.
Oh my goodness. Imagine just existing and you piss someone off like this. Like, can relate. They still owe a ton in wedding debt, and they somehow were approved to buy a house during the housing COVID craze, and now they owe more than what the house is currently appraising at. They can't afford the payments because Todd quit his job and now has one with a lower salary. So Susan's parents have been helping with the mortgage shortfall, which isn't sustainable, so they're trying to sell the house. According to Jessie, Susan doesn't think we deserve to be happy. There it is. And that we never should have been married in the first place. Susan looks at you as like all the things that like make people happy. Let's say having children, which you chose not to, having this big expensive wedding, a big expensive house, and she didn't think that you guys were entitled to that.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair.
Susan has issues. So Susan doesn't think we deserve to be happy and that we never should have been married in the first place. I don't follow her logic at all. Me neither, honestly. Doesn't really make sense. Apparently she does a lot of people like them talk. Oh. Like them. Since we're the same race, background, religion, upbringing, and our only difference is our appearance and hobbies. It's either a dig at our looks or our interests, which is just plain stupid. Jesse says Susan compares her marriage to ours all the time and Todd hates it. Part of me wants to block Susan from my Facebook so she can't see my posts anymore. I mean, yeah. Another part of me wants to go back to posting like I used to when I was in college and fill Susan's feed with my perfect marriage. You know, the interesting thing is that like old Charlotte would have gotten really small. But new Charlotte likes to talk about herself in a nice way, even though she knows that it upsets people.
Yes, queen. Yes, queen.
On the one hand, I get the blocking thing. On the other hand, it's so much more fun to watch her squirm. I think that's too far. I mean, you could literally just exist. Like, as long as you feel in your head like you have control over the situation and that you're not gonna let her bother you, why is it that you need to, like, make yourself smaller and remove her to make her happy? Like, why are we pandering to someone who's really awful to us? Let her watch. Hot take, but, like, let him watch. At the moment, I've done nothing, and we're waiting to see if Todd calls again about the Facebook post. If he does, my husband wants us to go with option B and start petty posting every day. I don't even know if you need to do it every day. Just like continue business as usual, you know? So yeah, that's the stupid drama in my life. Thank you for letting me vent. Good day to all of you. So there's an update to add. The petty posting has begun. Todd messaged my husband this morning asking again for the Facebook post to be taken down. Instead, I added to Facebook a photo of some bread my husband made last night. Also added it to a comment so you could marvel at the perfection of that loaf. My God, it's lovely. I've added an alarm to my phone to remind me to post something to my Facebook every day. I'm not going to block her or hide my posts from her, period. If our life upsets her so much, she can unfriend me herself. Todd is just going to have to deal with it, literally.